Next to Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher was probably the most consequential prime minister in the political history of Great Britain. Was she done in by a foreign adversary or outside threat? No, she was stabbed in the back by her own party. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week at Conservative Coffee Hour, we talk to guests about topics and issues that affect us individually and collectively. When we're empowered individually, we live into our potential and have an enjoyable life. When we're empowered collectively, we have strong families, communities, states, and nation. At Conservative Coffee Hour recently, we had special guest Alex Stovall, who's running for U.S. Senator in Texas, and gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey, who's running for governor right here in the state of Illinois. I was put on the spot when someone on the call asked if I was for Darren Bailey. I told Mr. Bailey and his lovely wife, Cindy, who was also on the call, that I do indeed love Mr. Bailey, but I'm more interested in the message than a particular candidate because I see that the message is empowering to both candidate and the voter. And what is the message at Conservative Coffee Hour? Well, if we're good listeners, I think we can hear that the message is about what is best for the voters and holding elected officials accountable. So instead of asking who we're for, we need to ask our candidates, who are they for? Are they for us, the voter, or are they for special interest groups, lobbyists, and themselves? Darren Bailey shared that recently he has been the target of vicious attacks from other Republicans, claiming he's actually a Democrat. This is the gift that just keeps on giving, and our Republican Party here and operatives keep falling for it. Why would anyone call a Republican a Democrat? Is that really helpful? Or does it just distract from the real question we should be asking candidates? Are you for the people? Show me how you're for the people, and show me how you're standing up for the Constitution. At Conservative Coffee Hour, it's always good to hear from young people. Alex Stovall is a 27-year-old candidate, and he has tried to impress upon us recently that younger voters have a different mindset and a different vocabulary than legacy voters. Illinois is dominated by machine politics, and many people, both Democrat and Republican, speak almost entirely with this legacy vocabulary. Often it's loud, demeaning, and bullying. Most younger voters are not interested in any of that. They're interested in a shiny new object. And what is the shiny new object? The shiny new object is a vocabulary that resonates on a higher frequency and hangs with a worldview that is not interested in business as usual or the belief system that we have to put up with this because it's always been done this way. This is a huge disconnect. It's also a very dangerous situation because without strong leadership, it's all going to blow up in our face. Alex said he finds it easier to attract people with honey instead of salt. If we keep screaming and fighting, voters are going to be misled by someone with a slightly slicker presentation, a softer style, and a well-funded advertising campaign. We all know we're fighting on two fronts, against the people who've taken over the Democrat Party and the people who've taken over the Republican Party, because in both cases, it's the same people. Special interest operatives and big money who haven't the slightest interest in any of us. So instead of calling everyone a Democrat, why don't we just own this and be smarter about how we package it to both the public, both young and old. During this time of Lent, we're reminded at the Last Supper, the disciples were presented with bread and wine, not a baseball bat and an admonishment that you're all just a bunch of Democrats. In fact, only one disciple was a Democrat, but that's a story for later in the season. This week, we're welcoming David Shatoskis, who's running for Attorney General of Illinois. David has particular insight into the office of Attorney General and that the office is intended to serve as a check on the power of the governor and as a safeguard for the rights of residents here in Illinois. Also, John Paul Moran, founder of Go USA, which is a political rating system for candidates. You wouldn't hire an employee without an interview, evaluation, and references, but we elect public officials on next to no information all the time. And then we wonder why it all goes so wrong. Go USA is intended to serve as a nonpartisan rating system based on criteria from protecting our constitutional rights and freedoms. We must always be on guard that no one infringe on our potential individually and collectively for personal gain, because this is racketeering. Margaret Thatcher was done in by her own party for political gain. And in fact, they were aided in this by an outside adversary and accomplice, the Soviet Union, who supported and funded the coal miner strike almost entirely from without, with the unwitting accomplices of a two-party system, which thought they were simply playing the system when in fact they were being played. On the spectrum from logic to emotion, we all like to think that our lives and our world is logical, but we can all see that in this political arena, nothing is adding up anymore or making any sense. And what is the logical conclusion of this? Do we want our union to be a united one, or do we want our union to be more Soviet Union? If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I will be happy to send you an invite. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.